We are arriving, cribs on driving. Come on. We are arriving, cribs on driving. Let's go. What makes them thrive? What gives them drive? Keeps us occupied. It can't be denied. Dayan and Fabi taking you for a ride. Front door to backyard, bedside to fireside. Showing you things to get you inspired. So sit back and relax and take a look inside. We are arriving, cribs on driving. Come on. We are arriving, cribs on driving. Yeah. We are arriving, cribs on driving. Get real. We are arriving, cribs on driving.
Wow, we're here.
I know, Uppsala.
Uppsala,
Sweden. Why are we here?
We're here because this is the actual heritage and history of HA. Wrestling was created here.
Yes, by a scientist who actually was working on an HA gel that we still use in cataract surgery today. And like most great discoveries, you end up taking from one discipline and then applying it to another. He never thought it'd go into aesthetic medicine, and here we are today.
We're actually going to meet employee number 1 who was there in the beginning when HA was discovered here. Now this product came to the US in 2005.
And it changed your practice, right?
Changed my practice because I was an aesthetic physician and no one really knew much about HA, and completely revolutionized the way we treat patients in the US.
Yeah, you were an early adopter.
I was.
And now there are many gels in the market, but this was the first one approved that really changed and created what the aesthetic medicine space is today, at least in the United States.
Let's go see.
Come on.
Hey, take your coats off. I know
Yes.
it's Sweden. It's a bit cold outside, but the heating's turned up nice and warm in here,
Thank you,
so
my
you'll be
friend.
comfortable. Welcome to our crib, actually. I spend
Yes.
quite a lot of time here. We have obviously a global headquarters in Switzerland, but this is really the center of the universe for us for aesthetics. Work very closely with our R&D colleagues, so we spend quite a lot of time. Take a seat over
Thank
here.
you so much. Okay, so Gary, you are Senior Vice President of Global Product Strategy, looking over the entire portfolio. How does aesthetics fit into that?
You know, at Galderma, we consider ourselves the world's leading pure-play dermatology company.
Yes.
And that's our edge. What that means is we have an integrated dermatology strategy, which covers not only injectable aesthetics,
Yes.
but also dermatological skincare with brands like Cetaphil and Elastin Skincare, but also our therapeutic dermatology range.
Right.
And so it's that interplay between all those products and that focus that I think is our edge. What I mean by that is, from an aesthetics perspective, you know, we've been doing a lot of research that blurs the lines between dermatology. We've also, through GAIN, our education platform, been looking at treating patients for their acne with our acne products, or rosacea with their rosacea products, but then following them up with injectable aesthetics, and then following them up with maintenance routines, whether it be Cetaphil or Elastin Skincare. And so there's not a lot of companies, if any, that can go across the full skin spectrum like that.
Right.
And it really comes back to purpose that we have at Galderma, which is advancing dermatology for every skin story.
Right, so having like an answer for every type of skin, for every type of condition.
Yeah, and you know, we're very proud of Restylane, 65 million treatments and
Yes.
counting. We've got 2 technologies, NASHA and OBT, which I know you're aware of. So we're continuing to expand in terms of formulations as well as innovation within that space, based on the trends that we see, based on the insights that we have as well. And then we also scan the gamut over to Sculptra. Originally, collagen biostimulation,
Right.
recently celebrating its 25th anniversary, but for us, we see it as just the beginning for that product as we
understand it more.
Yeah, as we understand it more. We knew something more than collagen stimulation was happening, and now the data is emerging that it has a regenerative effect on 3 layers, you know, whether it be adipogenesis, as you well know, elastin production and
Yes.
collagen stimulation. So I think it is Hollywood's little secret. Getting
Definitely
out there
my
in a big
little
way.
secret.
Mine too. So.
It's not a secret anymore then.
Well, wonderful. We're super excited, and I think we're going to get to meet your head of research and development.
Yeah. We will introduce you to Lotta, who is the global head of product development. So
Yes.
she'll be taking you around, and you'll be able to see some of the manufacturing site and some of the scientists that we have here as well.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Look
Thank you
forward to
so
meeting her.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, Gary.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime.
So welcome again to
Yes.
this Excellence Center for Injectable Aesthetics.
Yes.
So this is really the place where Restylane was born.
Right.
It was approved first time in 1996
Okay.
in Europe, in 2005 in US, and that really changed the whole world of aesthetics, I think.
It created an
for
entire
sure.
space.
Yeah.
Yes.
The discipline
yes,
of aesthetic
yes.
medicine, yes.
And you will meet later the guy who was #1 employee here. We have both manufacturing and R&D at the same site.
Right.
And that is really key for developing innovative products that is for all patients and all skin stories. We are working a lot with Sculptra within R&D, so both in process development and also with analytics. So we are very much involved in making Sculptra a really great product.
And I think we're going to go see that
And
first.
we are going to the lab.
So Peter, tell us where we are.
Yes, so this is the heart. This is where all the innovations happen.
For which product?
As you know, this is the home of the Restylane. So we've got the gels come in here, and we also look at different biomaterials, and we can test these biomaterials in our formulation here. So it's a variety of different products. I call this place, it's like, because I'm a process engineer in background,
Yes.
this is like the house of truth.
Are you okay in the House of Truth? I just want to make sure, you know.
I think you're the one who should probably be a little nervous in the House of
okay.
Truth. Okay. There's truth serums here?
There is truth serums here. But you can design stuff in the lab, on a lab bench. But it's only you reach here that you start to see the effects of scale up. You've got different temperatures, different times, different energies and pressures, and they will all affect the product.
Correct.
So we use these equipment that you see here as part of the process development chain. And often, for example, with the gels, they have a very particular rheology. They're very thick. And that in itself can lend to challenges regarding the processing of them.
Right, the integrity of the product, if let's say you're pushing it through a syringe, or let's say you're transporting it through various temperatures to get it to a different country.
Well, yes, don't forget, at the end of the day, right at the end, we're transporting or extruding through syringes.
Right.
But before it gets to the syringe,
Yes.
it's going to be extruded through these process equipment.
Right.
And we have to be careful that this extrusion, the way we handle the gels, doesn't degrade them or reduce the quality.
How often does something come through this lab and you're like, oh, it's a great idea, and it doesn't pan out to what you expect it to be?
Every time. In terms of the processing,
Yeah.
nothing ever performs right first time here. It'll take months.
So it takes a lot of work to get to a product that finally is,
Commercially viable.
yes.
Yes, yes. This is a key step in that process to ensure that we have these great, high quality products that you guys can use.
And that are consistent every single time.
Yes, that is the key. Good thing about Sculptra and thinking about mindful aesthetics and
Yes.
sustainability, that the raw materials which we use are sourced from sustainable sources. To make the polylactic acid, we use cornstarch or sugar beets. They're also very rich in sugars and carbohydrates. We take these plants and then we crush them, and the juices that come out we ferment in anaerobic conditions. It has a particular microbe during the fermentation process which produces the L-lactate. This is the L form of lactic acid. And this is actually the L-lactic acid.
So that's what it looks like when I do squats.
So this is what it
No,
looks
this
like
is
when you do squats. This is the I've just taken it out of the fridge. It's starting to melt now. So
We can
that's
open this, right?
Yeah, you can open it.
Wow.
And this is L-lactic acid, so it's not poly, it's L-lactic.
It's L, so it's a single unit of lactic acid here.
Look at that. It's like
very
grains
thick
of
and crisp.
sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know-
How does it become poly?
Yeah, how does it become poly? So it was actually a French chemist
Yes.
about 100 years ago that discovered to make the unit into a polymer.
William Carruthers.
Yes, exactly. William
I know my
Carruthers.
sculptor. I hope so.
You certainly do. And it was thanks to this process that actually functionalized the lactic acid. So then we had then a material that would basically hang around a much longer time. We use a particular type of catalyst in order to polymerize our lactic acid, and we use a specific number of lactic acid units to create a molecular weight. So at this point then we have a reasonably high molecular weight polymer.
It's almost like hail
It looks like salt.
or salt. Well, the salt that you like.
Yeah. Rock salt.
But would you guys like to inject that?
Never.
No.
So when people say PLLA, not all PLLA is the same, because this is technically PLLA.
Yes, exactly. This
Right,
is,
and you definitely would not want to inject this into anybody.
So this is the, that you can put this on yourself.
Okay.
This is the micronized. This is the actual PLLA SCA.
Oh,
That you've probably got enough there.
This is like
to-
powdered sugar that you would put on a cake.
You've probably got enough there to do about 300 injections, maybe more.
All right, so we're mixing our PLLA with 8 cc's of sterile water. And then actually in the study, we used 8 cc's with 1 cc of lidocaine no epi.
We can flip the timer over.
Very
and
sophisticated
you can
timing
shake.
method.
And give it a good
Does it
shake
matter
as
how
well.
I shake it?
Give it
Okay.
a good shake. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
agitate
want to break up those carboxymethyl cellular. Once you've done the full reconstitution, as you're doing now, after that minute, you're good to go. We had to prove this. First, we proved it on the lab. Like this viscosity, how thick, compared to, from time 0 compared to 3 days. And we proved that it was the same. The pH was also the same.
Right, so I think our
minute's done, huh?
The particle size was also the same
So there, I mean, there you
And then
are.
how long is this good for?
for 3 days.
For 3 days?
Yes.
And it'll still stay in solution?
Yeah, it will still stay in solution and still give you the same performance after 3 days as it does after time 0.
I always kind of liken it to like a golf ball in a beaker of water, right? If you agitate the golf balls in a beaker of water, whether it's a minute or whether it's, and you let it sit or you do it immediately, it's still, the golf balls don't get hydrated. Like golf balls retain their integrity. So the PLLA does not get hydrated. It's just all you're doing with your agitation is dispersing it equally through suspension. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. Well, thank you, Peter. I have a newfound appreciation for one of my favorite products.
So now I'm happy to introduce you to my colleague, Shietzo, who is the Global Head of Medical Affairs.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Nice to
great
meet
to
you.
see you. Nice
Welcome,
to see you.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Good to have you.
I know I've been involved in one of your IITs. I recall almost 3 years ago proposing it to Galderma when we would see the changes that we would see with volumetric change.
So the findings of your study actually confirmed what we have observed. Our research shows that Sculptra PLLA SCA has an impact on the extracellular metrics, an increase in collagen production, an increase in elastin production, and similar to your findings, there was modulation of the adipocytes, which we think has an impact potentially on skin quality. So your work highlights this importance to invest in collaborating with experts in answering the questions. Between 2023 and 2024, we have published 12 papers of research through grants with experts. We are supporting more than 20 investigator-supported trials. So really, really highlighting our commitment to working with the community, listening to the community, and addressing evidence gaps.
Well, it's been really exciting to be a partner with you guys in this journey. And I think I'm going to go meet Steve now in your manufacturing plant.
Yes.
To see a little bit more about the very products that we use every single day in our practices. And I think when you see it made, it's when you have a greater appreciation for all that goes into it. And I think you value it even more.
Yes, I'm really, really proud and feel privileged to work at Galderma in this time.
Yes.
And also I'm very proud of my team that are based here in Uppsala,
Yes.
that are advancing the work that we are doing for you as a community and for patients and consumers. So thank you for visiting us.
Yes, thank you. So super exciting work ahead, guys. All right, I'm gonna head over and try to
go
see Steve
ahead.
and make sure he doesn't get into trouble.
Okay, I'm here with Aaron Brandow, the shift manager, and this is the actual filling station where the HA is put into the syringes, correct?
You got it, you got it.
Now, it took us about an hour to get into this room. All this gowning, I mean, I felt very much like surgery. It was very similar putting the gloves on. Why do we do all that?
We're actually wearing all this equipment not to protect ourselves from anything harmful in here. We're protecting the room and the product from us. We are the dirtiest thing in here. So we got our underpants, our special socks, gloves, face masks.
And this room we're careful to make sure there's no microbiome. So you're really looking out for microbiology in this room.
Yeah, exactly. That's our enemy. So no water, no microbiological load on the room. and no particles whatsoever pretty much.
So refine, define, let's see where it's made. It's all made right here in this center for the whole world. So I look forward to it. Let's go take a look.
Welcome in.
Thank you. Okay, and oh, there's Sabrina. How are you? What do you think? Looks good? So she actually couldn't come in here because only one of us can come in here because you have to be sterile and there's very limited amount of access to this room. And you have to have all your makeup off and all your jewelry off and your hair can't be washed that day. So it was a little bit easier for me to deal with that than it was for her. And of course, this fashion here is not the latest French fashion from Dior. So it's a little bit easier for me to adopt to that. I'm just saying really nice things about you. All right, so Aaron, we're coming by this vessel here, and you mentioned to me this is where they mix the HA?
Exactly. So this is one of the bulk room where the gel itself is being produced.
So after it gets mixed all here, where does it go from here?
You remove the hose, turn off the stirring, agitation, and move over to filling.
Wow.
So this is the filling room.
Okay.
This is where it happens. The gel is currently to
Inside
your right
here.
here in the vessel, being pumped out into further pumps. Then we have needles down into the syringes. And you can see the plungers moving in the carousel towards the syringes over there.
So how many syringes you produce in a day or an hour or time is not your primary focus, is it?
Not our primary focus. The focus here is to produce every syringe with the same integrity and the best quality possible. You're usually not measuring in time or syringes per minute or hour, the quality of the actions being done and the products being produced.
So these are syringes here that are already filled.
Yeah, you can imagine this is early in the morning. This rack is going to be filled up to the top, awaiting sterilization this afternoon.
And then it goes into the autoclave.
You got it.
So we have Nasha being produced here, which is the Restylane brands of Lift and Restylane L, and then also a Silk.
Yeah.
And that's all made here as well.
Exactly.
And you guys are in different parts of this same building,
Yeah.
but all under the same quality control.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm seeing familiar packaging. These are the syringes that we use every single day in our office. Walk me through what we're seeing in this line.
The first step here is to do visual inspection.
Okay.
So we do visual inspection of all syringes.
Each and every single
Each
syringe
and
that somebody
every
injects.
syringe that have been filled will go through this visual inspection station.
So then in an hour, how many syringes would one potentially inspect?
So it's 60 syringes per minute, so that will be 3,600 syringes per hour.
Amazing. And I think Steve is back there actually inspecting a syringe himself. I think he's taking on a new job here.
So Aaron, this is plastic going through here. This is a blister pack?
Exactly. This is the material we call the undertrack. It's being fed into the blister forming machine and formed into blister packs.
And then that machine is picking it up and putting the actual syringes into the blister pack.
Correctly. Welded on and sealed. All along the way, visually inspected by machines to make sure everything is in order.
And this is the OBT actually coming off the line. I'm seeing it here, and it was so amazing to see it from the very beginning, how it's actually made here, the HA, how it's mixed, all that goes into quality control, visual inspection. There's so much attention to detail for every product that comes off. You know, I inject this every single day. It makes a difference when I actually see it being made.
Yeah. We manufacture it every day. I never see it being injected.
There's not many physicians I know that get a chance to come through here. And I feel really fortunate to see this. I hope that everyone who's viewing us also gets to see and appreciate what goes into making these syringes.
It looks like Steve is in there. I think he finally did some sterility checks and is even helping with the packaging. Now it's left the blistering station, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are these syringes that look so familiar to us? They're Restylane Refine, one of my favorites. Where are they going now?
So you have the syringes and the needles inside the blister.
Yep.
It can now go out to the non-sterile area, which we are in now.
Okay.
It goes on this band and down to the final packaging station.
Which is where they get put into boxes.
Yeah.
And voila. Now the boxes are all put together, put into a bigger box, and that will go to the warehouse and eventually be shipped off to the various countries where Galderma distributes.
That manufacturing plant was so impressive. Now I know you didn't get the chance to go on the inside because I was on the inside because you know,
Because you can swiftly get into pants without touching the ground.
I can quickly get in and out of my clothes. It's a skill set that took many years to establish.
Maybe I should be concerned about the fact that you can swiftly get in and out of your clothes.
Well, anyways, it was incredibly impressive. And now I'm super excited to go see Pele, right?
Right, employee number one. And look at this beautiful path to get to that facility.
Uppsala is critical for the environmental and sustainability work in Galderma. We are also a partner of what's called Uppsala Climate Protocol.
Great.
So together with the municipality and fellow industry partners in the city, we are targeting very ambitious climate targets for 2030. The site here is already operating zero waste landfill.
Amazing.
We use only renewable energy. It's a mission for the company, but it's also a mission for Sweden as such. We are very environmental friendly.
Well, I think we're off to see Pelle then.
We are off to see Pelle.
Great.
You're employee number one.
Yes, I am. So I've been here since 1990. When I started working, we were like about 5 people, and today we are about 600 people at the site.
Wow.
So it's quite amazing.
All right, so show us, what do we have?
Yes, this is where it all starts. This is a raw material, hyaluronic acid,
Can we hold it?
sodium hyaluronate. If you don't do anything to it, this is what it looks like.
So this is free HA?
This is free HA. This is exactly what we do have in our body, in the skin, but also in our joints. So this is the human lubricant actually. And when I show you, well, actually it's quite obvious that this is quite lubricating. What we don't want this product to do is to dissolve when you inject it, and that is what the whole thing was about when we developed the first technology, the Nasha technology, to prevent the HA from disappearing from the injection site. And by giving it a little bit of a modification, by cross-linking it using the BDDE molecule, as you say, what we do is we create something that is called the Nasha gel.
Was that the key step to getting a gel that you can inject? Was it BDDE?
Yeah, I would say that the key step was to get a gel that could be injected, but also to maintain the similarity to natural HA.
Right.
And for the Nasha technology, there's a 99% similarity to natural HA.
So going from the HA-free solution to this cube, that seems to me the critical step. Is this when you realize, eureka, we have this product that we can inject?
Well, of course, that was a eureka when we had this thing. And then, of course, came the verification of the safety of this, what we had developed. So to illustrate how we can make products from these cubes in the Nasha technology, we differentiate the products in the Nasha technology by having different particle sizes. And that is created by pushing the gel through filters of different sizes.
You have this wonderful gel.
Yeah.
What then made you take the leap to
do
changing
this.
its characteristics? Yes.
Yes, what we want to do in the end is to be able to deliver the product into the patient, into the
Through a
tissue.
syringe, yeah. You have to get
And
through.
so, how do you get this into a small syringe and then also through a thin gauge needle? So that is absolutely the reason why we did this, in order to be able to deliver it. So here you can see the SKUs, the products that we have made from the different gel technologies. And I will show you by doing this pile of gel, like a little tower,
Like a
like
mound
this.
with just 0.2
Which-
cc's.
Restylane Lift is a product with a particle size big enough so you can actually feel between your fingers there is something here, there is gel particles here.
You feel them.
Yeah. The high flexibility is actually to maintain the natural appearance after treatment.
We actually did a study on looking at flexibility and naturalness when injecting the lower third of the face, and we showed that patients look natural and more attractive.
Yeah, one reason is called the expression technology as well, that you maintain the natural appearance of the face. We can have a look first at this one because it illustrates very well how different this product is in its properties. This is Restylane Refine. It's totally different from the Nasha technology products. There is the softness, but there is also the flexibility of the gel, as opposed to the Nasha technology, which has a targeted product integration. It stays where you injected. This one spreads more. And then, after it has spread, it actually can use the fact that it's flexible. And you can see it's a bit like, almost like a spring. And this is what happens once the gel has settled in the tissue. Restylane Define is important in being rather firm, but also very flexible.
It's kind of like you.
So this is, you can see it's quite different from Refine, because you can see it doesn't stick together in the same way as that did. So here you can get kind of the best of both worlds, like you
me.
have a
Like
lifting.
you.
Yes.
So you must be working on new technologies.
Yes,
And,
we are. This is different from anything we've ever had
Right.
before.
Right.
But this is one of the future technologies, the Nasha HD.
See, it's not like this is lift and that
Yeah.
is HD.
So it's lifting even
Sturdier,
more. Yes.
like someone I know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're really excited. You've pioneered
Super
so much
exciting.
of what we're presently using. So we're excited to see what you'll come up with next.
Thank you
I have-
so much.
I have one simple question. So you were
Yes.
one of the first employees here. Do you get your own parking spot?
Well, not really,
Like employee
actually.
number one
What
parking spot with like a picture on it or something?
Well, we are in my old stomping grounds.
One of your old
It's
stopping
great
grounds.
to have you here with me now. 20 years later, a lot's changed.
In Barcelona.
Yes.
Galderma was really interesting to see the home and the heritage and the history of Galderma there in Uppsala, Sweden.
And how much it's actually impacted our entire aesthetic medicine industry. I mean, how we met that first employee that really has pioneered and shaped what we do every single day, even today.
I'm excited now to see what the innovation is in the future of Galderma for education worldwide here in Barcelona at their center.
Yeah, where we're going forward. So let's go see
Let's go see
Desi.
Welcome to Barcelona.
Wow, this is a pretty new facility.
Yes, it is. This is our Global Capability Center.
Wonderful.
It's located, as you can see, in this very beautiful location in the very center of Barcelona.
Yes.
So Global Capability Center is a very key structure in the organization because it's been designed to foster innovation, collaboration, and we are also trying to attract talents from around the world.
Great. And you have like what now, 150 employees?
150. Yeah,
In just
150,
1 year?
1 year, yeah.
Amazing.
This center commenced operations in March 23, and I have someone from my team who was actually the first employee in Barcelona. Now we have more than 100.
Barcelona is really an international city. It attracts from all around the world.
Makes sense, right? Yeah.
I lived here
Yeah.
like
Did you?
24 years ago.
Good.
I love it. It's great to be back. But I want to see. Will you show us
enough
around?
talking?
Okay.
Yeah, let me show you around. This center is actually a hub where, as I said, we attract the talents to support the commercial organization, but also other functions. So, for example, you know, innovation is important. So we have a lot of people from R&D working here. We have a lot of employees that support the global product strategy. You met with Gary, right?
Yes.
So we have a lot of people working in the marketing.
Under his team.
Exactly.
Great.
In education as well.
Right.
As I mentioned, we have commercial operations functions here, and also a lot of people that as well support IT, human resource, legal compliance.
It's really a way to extend your like
Supply
global
chain
footprint,
as well. Oh, yeah,
right?
it's,
because it's like
really
many
one.
companies are sometimes just rooted in one place, but you have this is just like another way to expand.
But is this place externally facing or internally facing? What I mean by that, I know that we have some training programs here.
Ha, good question.
Yes. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
let me show you something, right?
Yes.
Because yes, it supports the organization in its growth, but what we are trying to build here is a training center. We want to make this into a hub for training education excellence.
Because you are head of GAIN. I mean, for those who
Yeah.
don't know, Desi, and I mean, more than ever in the last couple of years, it has really grown as a
lot.
pillar of Galderma.
So Desi, can you explain for all the people who are watching, what is GAIN?
GAIN stands for Galderma Aesthetic Injector Network. It's a name that has been invented in the United States
Right.
in 2015. So next year we have our 10 years anniversary with GAIN. And for these 10 years alone, GAIN turned into a leading platform for education and training in aesthetics.
But a global platform. I mean, you've
Truly global
really
one.
pioneered the global aspect of this training program. I mean, at this point, you've done how many trainings? I feel like we've been to some of them, but you've been to pretty much all of them.
Not all of them, but around the world. We have trained last year alone 130,000 injectors.
How does someone get to a GAIN training program if they want to?
It goes through a contact with the local teams. If someone is interested, of course, go to and speak to our local teams. We also have a GAIN Connect which is an online platform for education and training where if you don't have access to our face-to-face services, you as a physician and injector can go and see our educational modules there and learn about products and how to inject. And also, you know, we have this closed Instagram channel for education and training, again by Galderma,
Yes.
which has an unseen engagement rate of almost 16%. Let me show you what we are planning to organize here.
Okay, I'm excited. Tell me more.
Oh, I like this room.
So this is basically where you can have a presentation or watch a live injection from the other room.
Right, so a more intimate setting to kind of do more teaching versus like a bigger, you know, stage where there's maybe 300 or 500 people and you don't get that more, you know, hands-on experience.
Yeah, it should be intimate, as you said. People should feel free to ask questions, to get answers, you know, to observe really.
So like you could do perhaps treatments here or even talks here, and that could be projected.
Correct.
So that's like another step towards your commitment to education.
The HCPs.
And global education at that.
Right. So I want to see this injection room then.
Come.
Okay. Wow.
We are.
It's a nice room.
Gorgeous. I have to jump on.
Well, make yourself comfortable. Why
Maybe
don't
I
you?
can eventually get treated here, Desi. What do you think? Can we make that arrangement?
Not today. Not today.
But I mean, eventually, you've created this injection room for the purpose of what are we offering that a big global event can't sometimes?
When we have a small game program like this, like for 10, 20, 30, 40 people, it's a very selected group. What I mean by selected is like all the injectors, for example, want to understand better the mid-phase treatment, right? So they have a common educational goal. For big events, you don't know whom you are addressing, right? You have 800 people or 1,000 people in the room. So you have to be more broad, right?
So experience levels might be different there, where you can kind of filter and select for that for this particular event.
Yeah, so you can be much more targeted and focused, and I believe that the injectors will get more from again training like this in a smaller setup than from a big event, but they are really different.
One thing I could see that'd be really great is if you were introducing a product to a new market and you had a huge market of people and they all couldn't come here, they all couldn't learn right away, you could show it from here and then they could all learn how to do it.
Can I steal the idea? I love it.
Like a standardized way of training.
Right.
You know, in the same setting consistently.
Yeah.
A great way to disseminate a standardized message.
I can see incredible efficiencies with doing trainings here for around the world.
Yeah, you can be fast, you can deliver more, and as you said, in the standardized way. And I'm sure that people would love to come here.
I mean, I don't mind the view.
You don't mind the view, right?
Well, it's really been a wonderful experience for us to really understand the history of Galderma, going to Uppsala, where so much of it began, and understanding its heritage has brought so much meaning for me, at least.
I think so, absolutely, too. We saw the person who's employee number one, and to see that there within Uppsala with all the beautiful surroundings and the environment, and then to come here and see that contrast with the innovation. It's like a thread that goes through.
Right, where the future of Galderma is
The
going.
heritage and the innovation together.
Yeah.
And the education too, like there's a strong emphasis on education in this program too.
We are very committed to that.
And you're committed not only just to the content, but also to the innovation of how you
provide.
disseminate that content. So it's been wonderful, Desi. Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go off to the streets because I really have been dying to get to
Because she
them.
knows the streets of Barcelona, which worries me a little bit.
Hey, we all have our pasts.
That was awesome.
That was great. Now to hit the streets.
Oh no.